Test. You're gonna have to go on the other.
Okay, we're going to start back in 30 seconds.
Test.
Very good. I'd like to call Eric Engel up to discuss some road easement and right-of-way donations from the public in Central.
Yep, so these are all on either Whitmer Street or Clough Avenue, which are in Central. They're county-maintained roads, and the Highway Department will be chip sealing them in September. And so the first one is approval of a road easement on Whitmer Street from Jolene Whitmer.
Any discussion?
I just want to thank Eric for all the hard work he does on this. It's not an easy task getting these right-of-ways. I know you've been banging your head against the wall for months upon months. You finally got them, and just to let you know, these improvements are going to be a wonderful, wonderful addition to these communities, and I just don't think Eric and the staff and the highway departments are appreciated enough about the work they do on this. So thank you, Eric, and I'd go ahead and make a motion if there's no other discussion to.
I had one point.
Go ahead.
Vice Chair,
Right.
and that is the for people who are waiting for their roads to be paved, just wanted to explain that that we are not just arbitrarily going to pave this, double chip seal this roadway. These people have agreed to donate the easement for the land. And secondly, we've got someone doing all of the grade and drain work. And so the county is meeting the developer and the citizens halfway, and we'll then put the double chip seal down. But much of the expense has been borne by the citizens, and we think that this is a good model, and would invite other neighborhoods who are on dirt roads and have the opportunity that this might be a model for future, cooperative agreements. So go ahead.
Very well said. That's a good point to make to the public on what we're doing here, so thank you for that. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the road easement on Whitmer Street from Jolene Whitmer.
Second his motion.
Thank you, supervisors, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Okay, thank you. The next one is approval of right-of-way donation from Priscilla Woods for Whitmer Street.
Any discussion? If not, a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the right-of-way donation from Priscilla Woods for Whitmer Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one, approval of right-of-way donation on Whitmer Street from Trulia Jones.
Discussion? If not, a motion?
Make a motion to approve the right-of-way donation of Whitmer Street from Trulia Jones.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Lastly,
Okay, last one is approval of right-of-way donation on Clough Avenue from Ladd and Lisa Molyneux.
any discussion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the right-of-way donation on Clough Avenue from Ladd and Lisa Molyneux.
Second.
And we'll go ahead and call the vote, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And appreciate Mr. Molyneux. He was a holdout, but he has cooperated and was the last one, and we are grateful for his willingness to support his neighborhood. Next we have, thank you very much, Eric. And next we have our County Health Department Director, Brian Douglas. Doesn't he look a lot like Juan Siscomani?
Sure does. It's the hair, right? Good morning. I have 3 items for you. The first is we're requesting approval of the WIC IGA Amendment 3. Funding and overall scope, it remains the same. There's some verbiage A couple updates, including some updated trainings and online attendance and an update regarding inventory assets.
Very good. Discussion?
None here.
I had a question. I noticed, I saw the dollar amount and I saw the amendments, and this is something that the government has initiated. So I was just wondering, the dollar amount, did that change?
Right.
And I know it's based on the number of people served.
Right. With the original IGA, we have 192,000.
Right.
But then we receive an additional 6,000 for rural WIC department.
In the amendment.
In this amendment, there's not that. It's just the additional 6,000 just comes
Okay.
From an additional source.
Very good. So it's just basically changing the word, redlining and changing the wording.
Correct.
Okay.
And some updated training requirements.
Very good. If no more discussion, a motion?
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the WIC intergovernmental agreement amendment number 3.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Next, for the Healthy People, Healthy Communities.
And we're requesting approval of the Healthy People, Healthy Communities 5-year IGA. This IGA oversees 4 different programs, which is the tobacco program, the HAPPY program, the teen pregnancy and prevention and mental health first aid program, and child fatality review. And funding for all of these programs is unchanged from the previous fiscal year.
Very good. And I'll start the questions off with the child mortality review. We opted out of that. Is that correct?
We opted out of the opioid.
Oh, the opioid. Okay.
Review.
Okay.
And sent it back to the state.
Okay. Very good. So,
as of the child fatality, that's a different.
Okay. I had my wires crossed. Thank you. Any other discussion?
None here.
Yeah, it's very straightforward, Brian, and again, this is federal money being passed through and part of our special revenues, and which we depend on largely for our health department and for staffing. So I'm definitely in favor. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Healthy People Communities 5-year IGA.
I will second it.
Thank you, supervisors, and all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Passes.
Okay, and our third item is we're requesting approval of the Rural Health Transformation Program 5-year IGA, and funding for this program is $298,639 annually. And in addition, the maternal and fetal health program has been added to this IGA, and funding for this program is $66,390 annually for the next 5 years.
Will you be able to administer this without adding staff?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, discussion?
Go ahead and make approval for the Rural Health Transformation Program.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you for the motions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that carries.
Okay.
And you're done. Thank you. Have a good week. Next, we have our Human Resources Director, Cindy Norris Blake, on a licensing and agreement. Let her explain that.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I'm coming before the board today to request approval of a software licensing agreement between Civic Calling Corporation, DBA Holly, and Graham County. Graham County Human Resources conducts annual salary benchmarking using surveys that compare positions with similar skills, responsibilities, and qualifications across county job classifications. The Arizona Association of Counties provides an annual salary survey. However, It's been found over the last 4 to 5 years, not all counties are participating in that survey, which means when we're trying to do budgeting to compare our positions to similar counties, we're not always getting the most up-to-date information. However, if the counties that we're trying to gather the information from, if we don't have that information from ACO, then we reach out to the other counties to request that information. It can make the process more cumbersome. And again, you know, we're all just trying to do our best to keep up. So there's times that those counties do not respond to the inquiry. If approved, the Holly platform would offer modern data-driven compensation benchmarking using the comparators that we've asked them to compare our positions to. So it would be other counties, local municipalities, state and federal agencies, and including Eastern Arizona College as well. If active, Holly will update the compensation data quarterly. The platform uses AI to match job classifications. They analyze minimum qualifications and deliver a more accurate real-time compensation benchmarks. If implemented, the county manager, chief financial officer, and human resources would have access to the most up-to-date information and be able to share that with the Board of Supervisors, department heads, and other elected officials. The last thing is if approved, then HR would work with Holly and provide them with all the current job descriptions that the county has, as well as our salary schedule, and to ensure the competitors are aligned correctly. And I would love to answer any questions about this software if you have any.
It's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information, and some of it probably only makes sense to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's, my question is the database or the information that we're getting, you'd mentioned state and counties and even nationally, but does that also include regional? So if someone is in New Mexico or someone is in Colorado, so this is strictly Arizona?
Yes.
Okay. But it's you know, and balancing the recruitment and retention, the value of that over the $15,000 a year cost, and you know, we depend on you, Cindy, and you're critical to our success, and so I'm just going to take your word that you really need it, but 15,000 is a lot for you know, the comparable information, but I'm on board.
I understand the concern of the cost of it, but I do see that for recruitment, retention purposes, and to keep moving forward with the growth of Graham County employment, that it's vital that we at least try this.
Okay, very good. Any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the software licensing agreement between Civic Calling Corporation, DBA Holly Inc. and Graham County.
I'll second it.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that's approved. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have our Chief Financial Officer. And would you introduce your newest assistant?
Good morning. I'd be glad to. Yen, will you please stand up? This is Yen Brown. She joins us as our new Chief Deputy Financial Officer. So if you haven't met her, please come by the office and say hello. And I will be sending out an email shortly. As you know, Jennifer St. John is on contract. She will only be here through mid-September. And so at that time, we'll start switching all the emails, and I'll send an email out. But please come introduce yourself to Yen if you have not done so already.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I come to you today to ask for approval of the fiscal year 25-26 audit engagement letter with Fester and Chapman. As you know, every year we're required to have an audit, and the engagement letter really just details out the scope of the audit, the objectives, the procedures, and the auditor's responsibilities, as well as the county's responsibilities to provide information for the audit.
Is this pretty much a formality?
Yes, last year's the first year I brought it to the board. Prior to that, and it could have something to do with findings in other counties, but prior to that, they just required it to be signed by Dustin and myself, but now they're requesting governance signature, so that's why I bring it to the board now.
So they're giving us each a rope to put around our neck?
Absolutely.
This is for the board, especially for the board. Any discussion or questions?
Doesn't seem like audits never end, do they? There's
They
just
do
a
not.
rotating door. But
Vicious cycle.
we appreciate you very much, Sheila.
Have anything?
I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the audit engagement letter with Fester and Chapman.
Second.
Thank you, supervisors. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Was that, did you already say aye in unison? Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Approved. Next, we have Vance Bryce. This is going to be presented by Dustin Welker, but Vance is available for questions, board members, for any discussion. So go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is an agreement we've discussed for quite a while. Bringing more sponsorships to the Graham County Fair has been a goal for several years. As you know, we only have 2 employees, full-time employees that work on the fair, so it's been difficult to make that a priority with all the other organizing and planning that goes on. During the 4th of July, we partnered with the Graham County Chamber of Commerce as well as Town of Thatcher, Town of Pima, City of Safford. And I would say we had a little bit of a trial run with this where all the government agencies put forth all of our resources and budgets and relied on the chamber to do the majority of the planning and sponsorships. And it worked out really well. And it gave us some confidence that we could make this work for the fair. Just happens to be the 100th fair this year, which is a big deal. We've been bringing in bigger and better events and different things, and we're really excited about it. So what this sponsorship agreement entails is it is a partnership with the chamber, where the chamber would, in the county's name, seek out sponsorships with relationships with employers and companies that they already have. And then we would split those sponsorships 50-50 after a 10% basically finding fee that would go to the chamber. So for example, if they were able to secure a $50,000 sponsorship, 10,000 of that would go to the chamber. That would leave 40,000.
That'd be 5,000.
No, it is 10%. Mr.
Oh, is it
Chairman.
10? Okay, that's right. I was thinking 5. Okay.
So it's 10%. So 10% would go to the chamber staff, and then we would split the remaining 40,000, 50-50, 20,000 to the chamber, 20,000 to Graham County. We have had historical sponsors of the fair, like Freeport McMoran. They have historically sponsored the fair every year for many years. And they are again this year. They would not be part of this. They would be considered a historical sponsorship, and we would retain 100% of that sponsorship. There's also a list of 7 or 8 other sponsors that I've listed in Exhibit A that would also be separated from this agreement, and most of those are in-kind sponsorships. So again, we believe this would be something that the chamber would help us get that otherwise we wouldn't and haven't in the past. So we see it as a win-win. They have already lined up about $60,000 worth of sponsorships that we otherwise have never had, and would bring those to the table if we were able to execute this agreement. So again, we feel like this is positive. This is what the chamber does very well. As a government, sponsorships really isn't something that we do very well. It's just not something in our normal realm of business. So we believe this would be a good partnership and a good way to raise some additional revenues for the Graham County Fair.
Very good. Anything that you wanted to add to that, Vance? Okay. He's open and Dustin's open for questions.
I just think this is a great opportunity for Graham County, the chamber, and best opportunity to put on a great fair event, better than we've ever done, and it benefits our citizens immensely to have this opportunity to promote it like that. I think it's great for The chamber, Vince and his crew does a great job in this valley. The chamber has come so much further than it was a few years ago, and it's all because of Vance's and his team's hard work. But this is a great opportunity for the county to expand and provide a better fare for our citizens, so thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with Supervisor Howard. I feel like Vance has improved the chamber leaps and bounds. He's a great promoter, and that's what we need. And it's exciting to get to partner with the chamber and have their help and their staff. They have great staff and good people there, and just excited to see this happen and make our fair that much better.
Thank you. In addition to your comments, I would note that some of the things I really like, the extras, is that the chamber will create and implement a sponsor appreciation program covering all sponsors. That would be including FMIs as all sponsors. So that way we get a follow-up. And they also serve as at no cost. And we've been paying someone in the past to be the superintendent of the fair parade. And they were going to provide manpower and organizational skills for the fair parade as a result of this. And we also get, at no cost, the United Way stage, Graham Greene, the county stage, without cost for the fair. And so those are some of the other, and 60 days, we get our money in 60 days. So these are all pluses. I don't see a downside. And I'm in favor, so I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the FY 2025-26. I'm reading the wrong thing here. Approve the sponsorship service agreement with Graham County Chamber of Commerce for 2026 Graham County Fair.
Second.
Sorry about that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we just have a couple items of business left, is the report from the county manager and supervisors, a summary of current events, and remind everyone we've got a public hearing at 10 o'clock. We'll reconvene, or we'll have a special budget adoption at 10, and so we're going to go from the reports to call to the public, and then we'll adjourn this meeting. So Dustin, we'll let you kick that off.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We've been extremely busy with the beginning of the new fiscal year. As you noted, we are spending money. A lot of these projects and budgets and capital items that were approved, we're jumping on those early and quickly, which is what we like to do and prefer to do. So we'll continue to see some uploaded costs. A lot of those costs too you'll see on the software that we have to renew for the fiscal year. But all good things, all budgeted and well within the budget. It is early, but we do have the first 2 months in of our county sales tax, and surprisingly, we're 8.5% above last year, which was a record year. So we're happy to get a new start, or get a good start on our local revenues, and hope that trend continues. Over at the fairgrounds, our CDBG project, which is the ADA sidewalks and parking spots, they are going at a really good pace. Almost all of the sidewalks around the upper pond and in between the two ponds is complete, or at least well underway. So we're excited about that project. The courthouse improvement projects, one of the big items in this budget was to hire an architect. We put out a request for qualifications, and we have already received 8 interest from architects. Me and Mr. Hewish have met with 2 of those already, and we have 5 more actually scheduled this week. And then we had 1 more just reach out this morning, so we'll try to get them on the schedule as quickly as possible. So a lot of interest in the courthouse, and it's been neat meeting with them already. And that courthouse it's not just a Graham County gem, it's a state gem, and it is certainly the central focus of Graham County, and we're proud of it, and we're excited and very grateful that the board has made that a priority in this budget. Over at Central Park, we put together a sealed bid for the pumping system. As you know, we have a well in the ground, or at least the 8-inch pipe that goes down about 60 to 80 feet. The reason we're bidding that out, it will not rise to the level of a $75,000 requirement, but we could only find one local company that could give us a bid, so we had to put it out for sealed bid to be able to comply with our purchasing guidelines. So we'll open that one up on September 8th. Next door, the Weech property, I'm working with County Attorney's Office and Michelle. I'm putting together a lease agreement. I also met with the City of Safford building official. There are some upgrades that we need to do before we can put someone in that building. They're all electrical. We're gonna have to upgrade the exterior panel, the emergency off switch, and some GFCIs within the building. So I'll keep you updated on that project. I'm meeting with electricians tomorrow to get some quotes to do that work. The board's well aware we are working diligently on our expenditure limitation ballot initiative. That is Proposition 404. That'll be on the November 3rd ballot. We put together a publicity pamphlet, which is required by state law, which explains what the expenditure limit is, what Graham County is seeking, and then arguments for and arguments against. We publicized those arguments for and against. We received 4 arguments. All of them were in favor of the expenditure limitation. They were from Danny Smith, Jim Palmer, Vance Bryce, and Chairman Paul David. So thank you for writing those. Currently, that pamphlet is with the AG's office. They have to do a review of it. We received a preliminary approval, but we're waiting for final approval, hopefully any minute this morning. And then we'll send those to the paper. And just maybe, I know we've talked about it a lot, but just a brief explanation what the expenditure limit is, and that's in 1979, the state passed a law that said whatever any county, city, town, or school is spending in that 1979-1980 year, they would not be able to spend any more than basically an equation that took in your population growth and inflation. So a lot has changed since 1979. You can imagine what police equipment was like in 1979. Just imagine, Jeff. I didn't say you knew. So things have... a lot of things have changed. A lot of costs, a lot of just the way that governments do business. So the majority of the cities and towns in Arizona have had to go through this process so that they could basically spend the funds that they already have. About half of the counties have also had to do this. So we are not in a dire position like other cities and towns because we were so poor for so long. But we do have funds that we have saved, and the main reason we are doing this is because of the courthouse project and the fairgrounds project. So we have money in our savings account that we have diligently saved over the last 7 or 8 years that we would like to spend on those projects. But because of this expenditure limitation, it would limit us to be able to spend our own money to be able to do those projects. And what it does is, what doesn't go against your expenditure limitation is financing. So if we hit that expenditure limitation, let's say halfway through the project, we would then have to go get a loan and pay 6, 7, 8% on that money to be able to finish the project when we have the money readily available in our banking account. So what this does is it sends a proposition to the voters that we're asking permission to spend monies that we already have. And again, in 1979, 1980, it was probably a well-intended law that they passed, but just because of the way things changed in the last 46 years, a lot of, if not almost every single city, town, county, school district has bumped up against this problem. I apologize for being lengthy on that, but we'll be talking about this a lot until November 3rd. But that's the explanation for it. Building codes, our Planning and Zoning Department has been working in correlation with City of Safford, Town of Thatcher, and Town of Pima to adopt the 2024 building codes. We are currently on the 2003 building codes, so it's been 21 years since we've adopted a new code. That it takes an ordinance for that adoption. This has been through planning and zoning. They've passed these building code recommendations, and they'll be coming to the board on September 8th via an ordinance. In correlation with that, we've also been looking at our fees for building permits and all of our zoning fees. Those have not been changed since 2006, so it's been 20 years since we've adjusted our building permits. We are extremely low on those, about half of what Thatcher and Pima charge and a fraction of what City of Safford charges. So we have put together a draft. I've sent that to the board. We'll talk about that in our work session today. If we proceed with those, the requirement to adopt or to adjust your fees and adopt new fees is advertising those for 60 days on our website, and also having a public hearing, advertising them in the local courier, and all those things that are typical for a public hearing. So just updating the board on that project. Another big project, Valley Telecom fiber project. They've been working in Eden, Fort Thomas, Town of Thatcher, Safford. And this is the project that we pledged $250,000 towards to support that, but also our main reason was to be able to get a long-term lease for dark fiber that would connect this general service building with our dispatch center, and then all the way to the town of Pima, the tower that we own there, all the way to Fort Thomas, to our tower in Fort Thomas. We had a really good meeting, McCoy Hawkins and I, with them last week to discuss that dark fiber lease, and we'll be bringing that lease to the board probably the last meeting in September. Over in the dispatch center, one of those big costs that you talked about, Chairman, was we have purchased the consolettes that will go in dispatch, and what a consolette does is that will hook us up to the DPS system, their trunking system, which is a superior system than what we have. We took an agreement to the board a couple meetings back, and as of a couple weeks ago, City of Safford was the last one to get on that DPS agreement. So now Thatcher, Pima, Safford, and the county, we all have our agreements with DPS. We're putting those consolettes in, and I believe our goal, according to the undersheriff, is to be up and going before the fair. So that's what we're hopeful to be on that trunking system by then. I just wanted to make the board aware, and many of you elected officials and department heads are also well aware of this. Michelle certainly is. We have been getting an absolute influx of public record requests. Since June 1st, we have received almost 50 public records requests. That's more than one a day, which you might say just one a day. Well, some of these take 20 to 30 minutes. They're not too bad to fulfill, but some of them take hours and hours of going through recorded, our deputies recording an incident on the road or whatever, and redacting information and all those things. Some of these record requests, they want all the way back to 2000 or even earlier. So I am doing nothing but making you aware, and it might seem more like whining and complaining, but I am a little bit, because it's been a lot. and it's began to be quite a job to get these record requests out. Over at the fairgrounds, we've been real busy changing our Little League fields over to AYSO. Soccer season is here, which we love. Our fairgrounds get very full and vibrant on Saturdays during AYSO season. Our guys have done a great job going around and cutting down dead trees, getting ready to for our big landscape project, hopefully here in a few months. They've done a lot of work on the grandstand repairs in preparation for over at the fair. We're going to bring in some monster trucks. We're excited about that. The mosquitoes are running rampant, and we're fogging and throwing pellets in the pond as fast as we can. Doing some other things to prepare for the fair. Over at the highway yard, we've been painting and striping our roads. We've had some big storm events. A lot of those were south of town. We had a big one on Stockton and Artesia Road where we had to haul in a bunch of material. Some of that over the weekend to rebuild those roads and get them passable. Supervisor Howard has been hearing from the Klondike and Bonita community quite a bit. It has just been torrential rain on the other side of the mountain. We wish some more of that would come on this side. But I do want to thank Daniel and his crew. Dwight went out there on Saturday after it rained very hard, took out a blade and worked for several hours to get that passable so people could use it. And it's still muddy and it's still a mess, but I just appreciate the work that our small crew did over there on the weekend, and we continue to respond to those kinds of calls when they come in. As Eric mentioned, we're starting to work on the Clough Avenue in Whitmer. We're going to build those streets in September. And I also wanted to note, we turned over the transfer sites over to the engineering department a few months ago, and since they've taken it over, they started tracking how often those transfer sites are being used. We took this to the board in a work session a few weeks ago, and I'm just giving you an update that we've had those transfer sites posted for the change of schedule that's going to be effective in September. A lot of those days that we had it open, we were getting one person coming in an 8-hour window. So the reason we are changing that hours is to be more efficient, to put more of an emphasis on the days where people were actually coming, and it will cut down some of our hours and some of our costs out there. Lastly, I'll just note, and we'll talk about, and we have several rezonings coming up that will be hitting the board probably around September or October. And lastly, we had a good conversation with State Land Department about Little Hollywood, and kudos to Darren. He was able to revive that conversation, and hopefully we'll be working towards an auction here soon for those state land lots. And that's my report for today, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything else?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Go ahead. We'll,
Someone asked me if we were busy the other day, so I guess I had to justify it.
We'll turn the time over to Vice Chair for his report.
Thank you, Dustin. That was a really good report and very informative. We are busy. You are busy. I'll be very brief. I had the opportunity to attend the Thatcher annual football auction the other day, and it's amazing to watch how much money our community puts together. I think they raised $31,000 for the football team that night. It's very generous people that in our community. Also on the 12th, we had a smart water, or water smart meeting that we have here at the county that we're trying to figure out ways to improve our water systems and to find water for the drought, ongoing drought. It's a group of us that talks about it every quarter to try to figure this problem out, and I don't know if we're making progress or not. It seems to be. Also able to attend the ribbon cuttings of the new clinic down at EA and the cosmetology building. Both are fantastic additions to our community. The cosmetology facility is simply amazing what they're offering to our kids in this valley and on campus, and the doctor's office and clinic is right there on campus. Offers students a way to not have to travel and go back and forth. Also, I just want to really give a big thank you for our highway department for this weekend. I was pretty inundated with calls, and they jumped on it. We realized that it is a muddy situation over there, and you can only do so much, and your efforts was also appreciated through phone calls back saying what you did. So I really appreciate that, and thank you very much. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Supervisor Mack.
I attended some of the same stuff as John. I didn't make it to the ribbon cutting for the Copper Mountain Clinic, but I did make it to the open house, and just want to say what a wonderful facility that is, and it's going to be nice to have that right there in Thatcher. I attended the Graham GOP meeting at EA, a ranchers and farmer roundtable at Eastern Arizona College on the 11th, and also a public meeting for the BLM Freeport Land Exchange on August 12th. And would definitely encourage people in the public to look into that, post your comments while the comment period is open. It's a huge land exchange, 24,000 acres for it's giving Freeport 24,000 acres, and BLM will get about 6. So definitely look into that. If you have questions about that, you need to make sure and get them in during the comment period. That's all I have.
Thank you for your both. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with you. Thanks for your service to our community. Last Monday, or I'm sorry, 2 Mondays ago, we our board and our county manager met with County Supervisors Association. They traveled down from Phoenix and to give us an idea of what's happened and what's going to happen with the legislature and elections. They just gave us an update. The following day was online for a congressional award discussion of $340,000 for a low-income housing project. Then traveled that evening to Mount Turnbull, and Rose Lacey was there for they moved their junior high school from Fort Thomas to the reservation at Mount Turnbull, and they built some 4 or 5 classrooms, and so they'll be able to segregate those very impressionable kids from the older, tougher crowd at the high school. And appreciate Rose's work there. And then came back in time for a Gila Valley Veterans Service meeting. The next day, there was Thursday, there was a Arizona State Liquor Board hearing that I was involved in a licensing discussion. And then Friday, there was we met, you may have seen in the paper, we met the Lions Club, the 5K, 10K run and ride, and we distributed $15,000, including $5,000 to the Substance Abuse Coalition's different Caring Hearts and their reentry program. Thank you. And then money to the college and money to the court system, $5,000 to the mental health or the wellness court. And that was a nice end to that. And then the following week, Safford City Council meeting, flock cameras were a big discussion item there. They did approve their agreement with the DPS at that time. The following day, Senator Gallego was in town, went to a reception, and then later that day had an online meeting talking about legislative proposals for the legislature from County Supervisors Association, then met with Senator Gallego again, and then finished the evening off with a visit to the Graham County Historical Society. The next day was one of the busiest. There was a small business retention and development meeting put on by the EAC and the City of Safford. That was well worth my time. And Senior Citizen Advisory Council meeting. They appreciate the flooring and the support. And then there was a local committee to end homelessness in-person meeting here in town. And then that night, the BLM Exchange open house. I would note in addition to what's already been said about that, as a county, our leadership, they were concerned about maintaining the Solomon Pass Road, having that remain open, even though it's going to be within the land exchange. But we think that's important for everyone from first responders to sports men and women, as well as just recreationists, access back into the Bonita watershed and Johnny Creek. And then there's a concern. Ben Menges has a lease there, and he's going to lose his lease, he'll receive the improvement costs, but that will have a very big impact. And there's no requirement that the BLM or that the FMI reimburse them for anything more than the improvements. Actually BLM. But I'm looking to see if there's any kind of a way for him to receive a little more in that exchange. And then finally, on Thursday, the VIP breakfast at the college for the cosmetology building. And then there was a veterans resource fair that I, as part of the Gila Valley Veteran Services, was involved in. And then on the Saturday, Zach Espinoza, a young man in his 40s, passed away. He was a volunteer for search and rescue, and search and rescue turned out a big turnout there, and I went to honor his service and to extend my condolences on behalf of the county to the family, and that's my report. So we'll move into we're going to change our agenda just a little bit. We do have the public hearing at 10. We will now have call to the public. Our first item is, and thank you for your patience and for your attendance today, Kathy Grimes of the Graham County Substance Abuse Coalition would like to make a presentation. And I'm willing to waive that.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Rose, I'd like to invite you to come with me, please. Last spring, I contacted all of our school resource officers in Graham County, and they all met the challenge I gave to them. I asked them to join me in educating, especially our juniors and seniors, on the risks of underage drinking, especially because we have prom and graduation coming up. And so Rose did not disappoint. She got Detective Harsh and Deputy Smith to help her, and they put an amazing, Sergeant Smith, and they put an amazing presentation together for the juniors and seniors at Fort Thomas High School. And so today I'd just like to thank her for partnering with me. We really count a lot on our partnerships, especially within our schools, and our law enforcement always comes to help us with whatever we ask them to do. They're absolutely amazing. We appreciate them. So I have a plaque today I would like to present to her, and it says, "For your unwavering commitment to teaching, guiding, and inspiring the students of Graham County to choose a healthy, substance-free path." And I just want to thank you, Rose. Thank you for always being there and for everything you do, because you have a tough job. So
it's the best job.
I know, isn't it, though? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sheriff Allred and Chief McCormick, would you please come up here? This include that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Chief. I'd like to recognize Sheriff Allred and Chief McCormick, and of course Kathy, for their support. I couldn't do what I do, and I believe I have the best job in Graham County. And overall, all the other departments, and of course patrol, but serving those kids and being with those kids, makes a world of difference, for me. And I've been in law enforcement longer than most of you guys have been alive. And in my 38 years in law enforcement, being an SRO is just the best job I could ever have asked for. And I couldn't do it without the support of Sheriff Allred and Chief McCormick. So please give them a hand. I appreciate it.
Did you get your photo, Vince? Okay, very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else called to the public, either online or here in the building? If not, we're adjourned until our 10 o'clock meeting on our budget. Thank you. a public hearing to order. This is a final budget adoption meeting. It's at 10 a.m. and we have a number of department heads and administrative staff here, as well as, and some electeds, as well as, I don't know if anyone's joined us online. Do we have anyone? Very good. Well, I'm going to, as chairman, I'm going to turn the time over to either Dustin or Julie for a brief presentation, a brief summary of our final budget and tax rates. And so let's go ahead and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the preliminary budget, we went over a pretty robust list of all the projects and all the budgets, and we've had several months leading up to this, so I won't go into any detail unless the board has further questions on where we are and where we've been. Maybe I'll highlight some of the tax rates. Our tax rate from last fiscal year was $2.39 for our primary budget. That rate is staying the same, so it didn't go up or down. All of the tax rates for all of the districts, as you're well aware, we don't set those, but we do have to adopt those as part of this budget. We're not going to read every single one of those. They've been posted and advertised appropriately, but they're on page A.21 in your document. On a high-level overview, if you go on page the Schedule A, that's the main state form. Julie and Jennifer highlighted all of these numbers for you, and those are really the main numbers that we look at the final budget. If you look at our general fund, it says that the adopted budget is $66,412,034. So the natural question is that number seems a lot higher, which would be naturally so. We, as part of the way we have to budget as if we're spending all of the money that we have in the general fund. Our savings or carryover from last year was $42,120,000. We're certainly not planning on spending anywhere near that, but we are planning on spending around $23 million in that general fund, and then the rest is in savings. So as you look at those numbers, especially the very last one that says $153 million, that is budgeting for as if we would spend every dollar that would be coming to us and every grant that we try for. So a good example that we bring up is we put $15 million in the budget every year to rebuild Safford Bryce Road. We don't have that $15 million. That would be a grant that we would have to go after to actually receive. So these numbers are all of your general fund, all of your special revenue funds, which are quite extensive, debt service funds, capital projects, all of those are included in this.
And investment accounts.
Investment accounts, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we went over in depth when we presented the preliminary budget, and that was adopted. So that is my presentation for now, Mr. Chairman, for the final budget.
Thank you. Any comments or concerns?
Thank you for working so hard on this budget, a very good budget. We again, thanks every department for it, so appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make and Supervisor Mack.
I just agree with Vice Chairman Howard and want to thank Julie and everybody for what a smooth process this has been, and it was enjoyable to get to sit down with every department head and go over their budget, and just want to thank them for their hard work and all that they did to make the process smooth.
Thank you. I have just several comments. One is it was reported in the Courier that we had a $153 million budget, and Dustin addressed that. We actually have about $44 million that we spend, and over half of that is our special funds that come in from the state or the federal government. And so we're a lot more conservative. 153 sounds huge, and it doesn't really represent what our operating costs are. The other couple comments for those who will read these notes or listen to the online presentation is that our rate, our tax rate, we've had a 20% over the last 8 years. We've had a 20% decrease in the assessed rate, and we are now at $2.39 per $1,000 of value of your home, and that is the same as last year. So we have not raised it, even though we had one of our major industries actually lower their assessed value. Also would note that our flood control district went from 0.122 cents to 0.1189 per $1,000 of assessed valuation. And so overall, we have actually, with the flood control, we've either held or reduced marginally our taxes. I would note that it says Graham County Fire District, they have raised their tax rate, I think, to the limit. And so when someone looks at their tax rate or their tax bill, and we take the complaints from everyone who sees the college or the school district that they're in raising their tax rates, and people, it's a broad brush, and they will paint the county and say the county has raised their taxes, and it's actually not the case. The county has maintained or reduced, and we hope, as our tax base increases, that we can continue to incrementally reduce the tax rate. So if you look at your bill, if you consider the county fire district a part of the county, it's not really, but our rate would go up $1.28 for a $100,000 assessed value home, and that's small. The other thing that I would mention as people come in, they complain about the value of their homes increasing or their property increasing, and we don't have any. Those are market forces. We don't have any control over what the economy is doing, and people eventually, when they go to sell that property, will see it, will recover, will have a benefit because their value of their home is increased, but they're actually, what they pay in taxes may increase, even though we've held our taxes the same, may increase because the value of their home or property is increased. And so that is, we can't shield people from that. It's a positive thing, except if you're trying to buy a home, positive to have your value of your property increase. And so I would, that's my shallow dive into this, and as supervisors, this is something that we thought long and hard at. We had permission. We could have, with the hearing, could have raised our tax rate considerably. We chose not to. And I attribute that to great management and conservative supervisors who, we're all property owners in addition to our own homes. We have other properties, and so if we raise taxes, we're raising taxes on ourselves, and if this isn't the time to do it. Our economy, people need a little break, and so we have provided that. And that's all I've got to say about it. But thank you for that opportunity. We do have this is a public hearing, so I'm going to open the hearing for any comments from the public, either for or against the final budget and tax rates. Seeing and hearing none, I'll wait one more moment in case someone's timid. Seeing and hearing none, then we'll go ahead and go to deliberation and approval of our final budget and tax rates.
I feel like everything's been said that needs to be said. We've studied this, went over it, and looked at it and approved it on ourselves, so I have nothing really to add.
Thank you.
I was surprised nobody wanted to complain about us not raising taxes.
Well, they'll complain when, and you need to work at the treasurer's office or the assessor's office. So, but anyway, if there is no public discussion, and I will entertain a motion for or against approving this.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the final budget for FY 2026, 2027.
I'll second Vice Chairman Howard's.
You want to amend the motion or suggest an amendment?
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Chairman, we need, under special meeting, we need to specifically approve the resolution.
Okay.
And say, let's say that verbatim on these ones.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the resolution number 2026-07, adopting the Graham County FY 2026-2027 final budget.
I'll second Vice Chairman's motion.
Okay, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have another action item, the adoption of the tax rates.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to adopt the adoption of the fiscal year 26-27 tax rates for Graham County and all other taxing jurisdictions within Graham County.
I will second.
Okay, all in favor? Say aye. Aye. So both of those pass. And so we thank you to our finance department and all the department heads. We have a final budget and tax rates. And a call to the public. Hearing and seeing none, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.